Hi, and welcome to Lync Training for Grand Park staff. I'm going to go over some of the basics of installing Lync and showing you how to use it. Hopefully you'll find it interesting and useful. The first time you're getting ready to use Lync, you have to download it onto your computer. So you're going to start by going to your email, and you're going to go to the gear over here, and you're going to choose Office 365 settings. And that's going to take you to your software installation area. And you can use this on any computer. As a faculty member of Prince William County, you get 5 installations that you can use on any computer for work, personal, whatever. Once you get there, you're going to choose the software tab on the left-hand side, and then you're going to see these materials here, and it shows you this is what's going to be installed here. And you'll notice it's on the left. You should select Office. And that will install all of this software. That's 2013 Microsoft's most updated software. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll click Install, and then depending on what browser you're using, something will show up that may or may not be different. I'm using Chrome, so it's going to download down here for me. I'm going to stop this because it's already on my computer, but once you install it, you'll follow the directions for installation. The next thing that's going to happen is you're going to be able to access Lync once the installation runs, and it does take a bit of time. And to do that, you're going to go to your Start menu, you're going to choose All Programs, and you're going to scroll down until you see Microsoft Office 2013. You see that I have Microsoft Office, but I want 2013 specifically. And then I'm going to choose Lync 2013 and click on it and open it. The first time you open it, you'll need to enter your email address and password. I've used it on this computer before, so mine's just going to load automatically. All right, so now I'm signed into Lync for the first time. Yours probably looks a little bit like this, but without all of the names. So more like this. The first thing you're going to want to do is take a quick tour of the different things that you can see on your screen. Up the top, it says, what's happening today? This is where you can set a status message, sort of like on Facebook, but the way it works in our system is that very few people, if anyone, will ever see it. So I would ignore that feature. The next part tells you your name, of course, and then whether or not you're active. Now, because I'm using this computer, I should be marked as active. So I'm going to, I think it's probably because I'm signed into a second computer. So I'm going to click Reset Status, which will give it a chance to realize that I am actually indeed available and here. You can always change these, but after 5 minutes, it will mark you as idle or away from your computer. You can also set your location, and this will appear underneath your name when you're in Lync. However, it's not necessary, as most of the time you're in it, we can assume that you are at your desk. Beneath that, you've got 3 icons here. This one tells me who my contacts are, and that changes what I see displayed in this screen. The next one tells me that, actually, let's just be clear. As for right now in Prince William County, neither of these do anything for us, so you can go ahead and just ignore them for now. The next thing I want to do is show you how to view people. So you should probably start by setting up groups. And to do that, you're going to notice there's a little man here with a plus sign. I'm going to start by setting up a group. For instance, math teachers. So I'm going to click Create New Group, and you'll see that down here at the bottom it says New Group, and it's got the words highlighted. So all I need to do is type in math teachers, and then I hit enter, and my group has been created. The next thing I get to do is to add people to that group. So I'm going to start with Mrs. Spearman. And so I'm going to type her last name in, and it works just like email. As soon as I type somebody's name in, Lync will search for them. And the only difference is when you use your email, it also searches students. Lync is a feature that is only for our faculty at this time, so you can it'll limit who you're searching for, which I think is helpful. In this case, we found Miss Spearman, and I see that she is using Lync and she's been away. When I move my mouse over her name, and you'll see that I didn't click on anything, I just moved my mouse over her name, I get several options. The one I want right now, because I'm trying to add her to a group, I'm trying to add her onto my list of contacts permanently, is these 3 dots that say more options. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to say add to contacts list, and I'm going to add her to math teachers. I could also, had I wanted to, and you'll see right there, her name pops up. I could have also added her by putting my mouse over her picture, putting my mouse over the 3 dots and clicking on it. I could have also added her to my favorites, and that's a group that's already been created for you. And now, if I want to, I can send her a message. I'm actually going to send a message to a teacher who is on planning right now so that we are not too disruptive. And I have a couple ways I can find somebody I want to send a message to. I can look at my groups. I can look at the status bar to see who's online and available, who's currently away from their computer, and the people I have added who are not currently using Lync at this moment. They're signed out. The relationships tab puts everybody in colleagues, so I ignore that one. I can also look at new. This shows me people who have added me that I have not yet added. So if you have anybody listed there, you may want to add them so you can communicate with them. Lync will not generally let you see who's online unless you have both added one another. It's a privacy feature. So I'm going to send a message to Mrs. Kelly. And the quickest way to do that is I've found her on my list of available people, and I'm going to put my mouse right over her picture icon, and I'm going to click this little speech bubble, and you'll see it says send an IM. So if I click it, it opens up a brand new window, and it tells me Mrs. Kelly is available. And I'm going to type a message to her. Hi, Mrs. Kelly. This message is part of an online training. If you see it, feel free to say hello. And then to send that message, all I have to do is click enter. If I want to get fancy, I can also show you some emojis right here. Choose a smiley. I can send her rainbows and music notes and gambling. I can also change the font of what I'm using. So I could send her this message in purple, and I could send it using a fancy font, and I could make it big and exciting. And you can see that while it's sending, you see this swirly bar that says that it's going through the internet, and it won't officially be sent until that swirly bar stops swirling. Lync will also tell me when Mrs. Kelly has seen my messages. A small line will appear underneath that says, this message was last seen at this time. And so right now I can tell that she has not yet seen these messages, and that's probably for the best, since they're not actually very useful. Now, here's what makes Lync even more exciting, is that I'm not confined to just writing messages. Otherwise, it's not much more useful than email, except that it pops right up on your computer. I can also, if I say, that's not enough, I really want to talk to her faster at a normal rate, I can click on this phone button. And if I click call, it will send her a message to call her on her computer. And she can hear my voice coming through her computer speakers. And if she has a microphone attached to her computer, she'll also be able to talk to me just like a regular phone call. If she's got a webcam attached to her computer, I can click on this. I don't have a webcam set up on this computer either, and she doesn't, so we're not going to be able to video chat. But if you choose this icon, it works just like Skype or FaceTime. You can tell if somebody is able to use that feature because you'll see on their name that they're listed as video capable. Another feature about Lync that I think is really cool is that you can use the this desktop icon, and it looks like a computer monitor, to share all kinds of information with somebody. For instance, if I am talking to Mrs. Kelly, can choose to share with her my desktop by clicking on this button. And if I do that, then she's able to see everything on my desktop that I'm doing. If I choose program, I can choose to just show her one thing that I'm running on my desktop. I don't want her to see, my email, but she can at least see this particular thing I'm running. I could also send her a particular PowerPoint, or I could open a whiteboard presentation, which will give us a shared space to draw and to illustrate. One of my favorite things about the desktop option is that I can give her control of my desktop if I want to, or she could give me control of her desktop. And that would allow me to say, I'm having a hard time telling you what I want you to do. Let me just take over and I will fix it for you on your computer from the comfort of my own desk. So this is a really cool feature right here. I can also add to this another person. If I am having a conversation with Mrs. Kelly and I want Mrs. Babauta to know about it, it's not like a BCC. This is just bringing another person into the conversation. So I click invite more people, and then I will type the name I can find one of my contacts, or I can type their name in, and I'm just going to choose Mrs. Babauta, and I'm going to say okay, and then that adds Mrs. Babauta, and I can see now that I've got 3 people participating in the conversation. And if I put my mouse over it, it tells me here's who's participating. If I want to start another conversation, I can also decide that I'm going to talk to Mrs. Brown in a totally separate conversation. And if I do that, once again, I just put my mouse over her name. I click on the speech bubble, and you'll see that I've got now 2 tabs open over on the side, so that I can talk to her in this window and then flick over and talk to Mrs. Kelly and Mrs. Babauta. So that way you can sort of keep your conversations all organized. You just always want to make sure you're typing into the correct window at the correct time. Those are the basic features of Lync.